Hi, first grade. It's Mrs. Crawford here with a mini lesson. My mini lesson today is another mini lesson where we're going to talk about thinking while we're reading. And today we're going to be thinking about the problem in a story, the solution, and the events that happen in the middle. When we're done reading the story and doing some thinking, then we're going to take a close look at an anchor chart that has everything mapped out and see if what you were thinking the problem was and the solution and the events match what I was thinking. So we're going to start by reading the story Knuffle Bunny by Mo Willems. And as I'm reading the story, take the time to think, what's the problem? What's happening? And how did it get solved? I'll stop throughout the story when I notice some things that I think might be part of our problem, solution, and events. Are we ready? Here we go. Knuffle Bunny by Mo Willems. Not so long ago, before she could even speak words, Trixie went on an errand with her daddy. Trixie and her daddy went down the block, through the park, past the school, and into the laundromat. Trixie helped Daddy put the laundry in the machine. She even got to put the money in. Then they left. But about a block or so later, Trixie realized something. I think I may have noticed the problem. And I think Trixie realized it as well. When she was putting the money in the washing machine, did you notice anything? Or how about as they were leaving the laundromat? Did you notice anything there? Do you think maybe you might know the problem? Trixie turned to her daddy and said, "Aggle flaggle glabble." "That's right," replied her daddy. "We're going home." "Aggle flaggle glabble," said Trixie again. "Flaggle plabble, wumpy flappy, snurp." Trixie seems really upset, guys. What do you think she's trying to tell her dad? "Now, please, don't get fussy," said her daddy. Well, she had no other choice. Trixie bawled. She went boneless. She did everything she could to show how unhappy she was. By the time they got home, her daddy was unhappy too. As soon as Trixie's mom opened the door, she asked, "Where's Knuffle Bunny?" The whole family ran down the block. And they ran through the park They zoomed past the school and into the laundromat. Trixie's daddy looked for Knuffle Bunny and looked and looked and looked. But Knuffle Bunny was nowhere to be found. So Trixie's daddy decided to look harder. Until Knuffle Bunny! And those were the first words that Trixie ever said. The end. All right, so were you thinking? Were you wondering what the problem was? I think I noticed the problem at the laundromat. What about some of the events that led up to the solution of the problem? What were some of the things that happened once Trixie realized Knuffle Bunny was missing? Did you think about those things? And then, once they finally got back to the laundromat, how did they solve the problem? Did you figure that out too? All right, so now we're going to take a look at the anchor chart that I did, and I want to see if what you were thinking about the problem and the solution and the events matches what I was thinking. And I want to show you how you can make a chart to kind of write your thoughts down as you're reading a story to help you organize some of those ideas, the problem, the solution, and events. So let's take a look at our anchor chart. First grade. So here is our chart that I made based on the story Knuffle Bunny. And these are the things that I was thinking as I read Knuffle Bunny about the problem and the solution. So the problem's at the top, the solutions at the bottom. The events are what happened to lead us from the problem to the solution. So when you think about the story, did you have an idea about what the problem was? I showed you those pictures up close where we kind of saw Knuffle Bunny in the washing machine. Do you remember that? Well, that is what I put for the problem, that Trixie lost Knuffle Bunny, because that was the problem, really. So then the events. What happened after Trixie lost Knuffle Bunny, but before they solved the problem? So if I think just real quickly off the top of my head after reading the story, I think about how Trixie realized he was gone, right? That happened first. And then she was trying to convince or communicate to Daddy that something was wrong. Her aggle flabble blabbles, her crying, going boneless, right? She was trying to get Daddy's attention, so he knew that something was wrong. And then the next event that I can think of is Mom. Well, I don't know. What about Dad getting upset? He started to kind of get angry that she was throwing this fit because he didn't know what the fit was about. Then they got home and Mom asked about Knuckle Bunny. That was another big event, right? Because this is when Dad realized, oh, that's why Trixie is so upset. So they ran back to the laundromat, right? Next, another event, running to the laundromat before they finally solved the problem. How did they solve the problem? Let's hold that thought for a minute. Let's look at our events on our chart. So let's see if any of these match what we just said. Event 1, Trixie tries to tell Dad about Knuffle Bunny. Event 2, Mommy notices Knuffle Bunny is missing. Event 3, they run to the laundromat. And event 4, Mom and Dad look for Knuffle Bunny. So these are all the things that happened after Knuffle Bunny was lost. We call those the events, things that happened after the problem, before the solution. So now, thinking about the solution, they get to the laundromat. What do? Dad looks for Knuffle Bunny. It's not easy, right? It takes him a while. He looks and looks and looks, and he keeps looking, and he can't find it. So he looks even harder until finally, yay, Knuffle Bunny is found. So that is our solution. Dad finds Knuffle Bunny, right? So we had our problem. The events are the things that happened after the problem and before the solution. So I want you to maybe go back to some of my read alouds or find a book that you've been reading for your teachers, or maybe I know on some of the class dojos, some of your teachers have been reading some stories to you as well. Go back and listen to those stories or reread a book that you have at home and think, here's the problem and here's the solution. Now, what are the events? What are the things that happened that got us from the problem to the solution? I hope this mini lesson helps you as you're reading. It helps you continue to think about stories as you're reading them. And I hope maybe it can help you answer some questions that are maybe at the end of each story. If you're thinking about these things as you're reading, maybe writing some of these things down as you're reading, it might help you when you come to the end of the story and have to answer some questions. So, happy reading, and I'll be back soon with another mini lesson. Bye.